Welcome back on the mat. Let's start in our seated position for this nice gentle flow. Shoulders back and down, spine nice and straight. Close your eyes. You are more than welcome to make use of Ujjayi Pranayama, but it's not a must. Slowly open your eyes. We'll get soles of the feet together. Just moving your knees up and down, feeling into the hips. Very gentle. Maintain a straight spine. If you find that the spine is rounding here, pull onto the feet to lift your chest up. Now adjusting one leg at a time, take your right hand behind your back, left hand onto left knee, and actively push the knee down towards the floor. It's a bit easier if we have the heels closer to the body, but you can still aim to work the knee down even if it's not touching the floor. Now keep this leg in that position as much as you can, switch hands, and adjust your opposite knee down. Just opening up a little bit. Feeling into the legs, the hips. And then let go, take your hand behind your back and simply work your knees down using your leg muscles. And slowly bring it back up. Let's get to all fours, working into the spine with a bit of a back extension. As you get to all fours, hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, straighten your left leg to the back wall. Bend your knee. Reach with your right hand. See if you can find your foot or even your ankle, maybe even the shin. See what position is more comfortable for you. Start to kick back. Finally, you can look up. If you don't have the balance, look down. Just kick back into the hand. To stretch into the right shoulder a little bit. To get into the left quad. And you'll feel the back muscles working as we extend in the spine. Slowly let go. Bring your hand down, knee down. And switch. The right leg goes back. Bend your knee. Find your foot, ankle, or shin. Shin is going to be a little bit more difficult, and kick back. If you don't seem to be able to grip hold of the leg, just keep your leg extended without the bind. Keep the breath nice and deep. Exhale, slowly release. Hand down, knee down. Tuck your toes. Get into your first short downward facing dog, but walk it out. You can even sway your hips from side to side. And now reposition the feet into your more traditional down dog, so a slightly longer stance. Bend into knees, look up. Inhale, walk your feet in between hands. Take your time. Halfway lift. Hands can be on shins. Exhale to a forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back. Place left knee onto the mat. Sink your hips forwards just to get a light stretch along the hip flexor area. You don't have to work it down too much. Just feeling into the leg. Just like our very first position where we move the legs up and down, you can do the same thing. You can back out of the lunge a little bit and then sink a bit deeper. Just backing out slightly and go a bit deeper. So a little bit of movement to feel into any tightness in the body. and to see if we can increase the flexibility a little bit. Then take it to your limit, hold it there, breathe. Now tuck your toes, lock your back leg, step the left foot next to the right, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Bend into the knees if you have to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, place the knee down. Same thing. Shifting weight forwards, feeling into the right hip flexor area, and then adding a little bit of movement, so backing out and coming down. Gently working into the lower legs. Very much hip area. If we think about getting into the hip flexors, get to your limit and hold it there for a second. Tuck toes, lock your back leg, step the right foot forwards, halfway lift. That's an inhale. Exhale to a forward bend. Once again, bend into knees if you have to. Inhale, take arms up, reach. Exhale, mountain pose. Step your feet hip width apart. Inhale, take arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Grab hold behind the backs of your legs. So if you have flexibility, you'll maybe go for the ankles. If not, calf muscles will do. Actively pull your chest a little bit closer to the floor and get slight softness in the knees. Now arch in your back, walk your rib cage along the upper legs, and then very slowly straighten the legs out just a little bit more. Just want to get that very good muscle activation along the backs of the legs. Release your hands down, halfway lift. Exhale, step both feet back into a down dog. In your down dog, reach with your left hand towards the right leg. Maybe you can catch the back of the knee, the calf muscle, the ankle. Wherever you get, hold it there and start to rotate the shoulder towards the floor. So you're opening chest to the right. If it's quite challenging, you might even shorten the stance and do the very same thing. Exhale, release. You'll feel how you get into the upper back with that one. Switch hands. Reach with the right hand for the left leg and start to pull the right shoulder down towards the floor. Slowly release back into a down dog. Or walk your hands towards the feet and shift more and more weight onto the legs as the hands become lighter, turning it into a forward bend. Lift your toes, spread your toes, grip the mat. Squeeze as if you think of squeezing your glutes as much as you can. So tighten in the hip and glute area. Maintain that activation and walk your hands forwards back into a down dog. If your down dog's too short or a little bit shorter than your normal stance, you can readjust it. Inhale, lower your hips into plank. Place your left knee in line with the hip and left wrist. Take the right foot, get it in line with the rest of your body. Stack your hips. Take your right arm up. And look down to the floor. The idea is to push into the left hand and right foot, pulling left knee off the mat. Think of getting left knee to armpit. It's maybe going to be a little bit challenging, but see if there's a way for you to lift your bottom leg and then bring it back down. Hand comes down. Position the right knee in line with the right wrist. Left foot in line. Left arm goes up. modified side plank. Turn your gaze down to the floor. Push through your right hand, left foot. Pull your leg off the mat, potentially getting the knee closer to the armpit. Then bring your leg down. Arm down. All fours. In your all fours position, turn your hands, fingers pointing towards the knees. A little bit of movement, shifting weight back and forth. Getting into the forearms. Turn your hands back. Get normal down dog, hands on the floor. Tuck your toes. Take it back into a down dog. Bend knees, look up. Inhale, position feet in between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bring arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Stepping wide on your mat. Feet about more than one step apart, so underneath the wrists if you extend arms. Bring your hands to prayer. We keep feet entirely square. You don't have to pigeon, you just keep your feet square. Inhale, push sternum into the thumbs. Exhale, come down halfway. If you need to bend into your knees, that's fine. And from this position, take your arms out to the sides. Keep length in your back. One in breath. Exhale. Right hand to the center of your chest on the floor. Opposite arm up. Twisting. Working your chest to the right side. Inhale, bring it back to center, arms out. Exhale, right, in this case, left hand down, right arm up. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, both hands below the shoulders and turn it into a forward bend. Crown of the head closer to the floor. Keep your elbows tucked. You can even slide your hands so that the fingers are more in line with the heels. Inhale, doing the halfway lift. Walk your hands towards the back foot. See if you can hold onto the foot, working head closer to the knee. Inhale, back to center, and exhale, walk it over to the opposite side. Walk it back to center. Place hands onto your waist. Inhale, come up. Standing position. You can step to the front end of your mat. We're doing a balancing posture, a bit of a dancer pose. We'll start by keeping left foot on the floor, bending the right leg. Catch your ankle. You need to focus on getting the balance here. If you really struggle, you might not take it any further. This in itself might be a good starting point, but pulling the knees into alignment is something you can then focus on. If you want to take it a step further, you can hold onto the outside of the foot or the inside Start to kick back, reaching forwards with your left arm. So just turning it into a little bit of a dancer pose. Keep your hips down. So right hip in line with the left hip. Slowly come back up. Let go of the ankle. Right foot onto the floor. Grip the mat with the right foot, bend your left, catch your ankle. First aligning the knees. Take the arm out in front, kick into the backhand, turn it into a dancer pose. Inhale. Slowly make your way up. Release. Step your feet wide and take it into a nice and calming forward bend. Nothing specific you have to do. You don't have to force it. Just allow the body to fold into its natural range of motion. Inhale for a bit of a halfway lift and bring your heels a bit closer together, toes turned out. Slowly squat down. Bring your hands to prayer, elbows to the insides of the knees. Yogic squat. We'll twist a little bit, straighten your left arm. Take your right arm out to the side. And start to pull the shoulder blades a little bit closer together at the back. If you don't get the heels down with this one, it's okay. Just support the floor with the left hand then. Slowly bring it back to center. Opposite side. Right fingers will stay on the floor. Left arm goes up. Get the shoulder blades closer together. Pull the left arm as far back as you can. Slowly bring it back to center. Position hands onto the mat. Slowly straighten the legs out a bit as you step back into plank. Place your knees down, chest and chin down on exhale. Relaxing onto the floor. Get your big toes to touch. Lock your legs. Keep the hands where they are. Push your pelvis into the floor. Keeping the legs straight, lift your legs off the mat. Squeeze the glutes. Lock your legs, draw the kneecaps up. Exhale, bring it down. Place your elbows below your shoulders, coming up for Sphinx. You can hold Sphinx or modify the posture by bending your knees, working your feet closer to your glutes. Lower your legs back down. Tuck toes. Position hands below the shoulders. Push it back first to child's pose. Straighten legs. Downward facing dog. Now we want to make our way into a seated position. So bend your knees, look up, and step into seated. As you get to seated, straighten both legs. Sit up nice and tall. Position your hands in line with the pelvis, shoulders back and down. And then bring your chin closer to your chest. Dandasana. Lifting your head. Inhale, take both arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Find your feet or your legs. Keep a length in your back, so it doesn't matter if you're not going very deep, as long as you get the back muscles to work. Inhale, straighten your arms, lift in the chest. Exhale, release. Take your right leg out to the side and bend your knee. So we want to get a 90-degree angle between your knees. Sit up nice and tall. Take a full inhale. Twist your chest towards the straight leg. And exhale, come down. You don't want to overstretch. Keep the left leg nice and active. Push your heel down into the floor. Inhale, lift in the chest, straighten your arms. Exhale, release, switch. Right leg straight, left leg bent and out to the side. Twist with the chest, take an in-breath. Exhale, come down. Inhale, straighten your arms, lift your chest, and exhale, release. Bring your leg forward. Bend both knees, get soles of the feet together, and this time round, unlike the very first posture where we had a gap between heels and groin, pull your heels close to the body. Wrap your hands around the feet or interlace. Nice deep in-breath. Exhale, pull your knees down towards the floor, keeping your spine long. Releasing. Straighten your left leg. Get your right foot into your left bicep. Wrap your opposite arm around. If this is very challenging, then place one hand onto the knee and think about lifting in the spine. Alternatively, sort of find your wrist. Sit up nice and tall, working leg closer to chest, chest closer to leg. And you can even get a little bit of movement. Moving the leg from side to side. And you can release the right leg, straighten, bend your opposite leg. Foot into the bicep, so even if you have to bend forwards to get that position and then wrap and sit up nice and tall, gently moving the leg from side to side. You can release your left leg, straighten, make your way down onto the floor. As you come down, pull both knees into your chest. So hug knees into your body and get your spine as flat on the mat as possible. So you're hugging, but at the same time you're pushing with your knees away from your body to create length. Keep your knees into your chest. Reach and find your big toes with your peace fingers. Slowly start to straighten your legs out as much as you can. Maybe it's bent quite a bit. That's fine. Just keep length in your back. Now bend into your knees. Let go of the feet, getting your feet on the floor. Move your knees from side to side. Now bring it back to center. Hug knees back into your chest before we do our spinal twist. Take the arms out to the sides. Drop your knees over to the right. Gaze to the left. Legs back to center. Over to the left. Gaze to the right. And bring your legs back to center. Grab hold behind the backs of the knees. Rocking up to seated. As you get to a seated position, let's make time for a short meditation, silent meditation, before we get to corpse pose. So a comfortable seated position, much like the way you started the practice. Option of resting hands on the knees or hands in your lap. All depends on what feels nicer for the shoulders to keep the spine long. Start to close your eyes. And then for the first time in the practice, don't let the breathing be deeper than usual. Just allow the breath to be natural. No tension in the body. You're simply getting length in your back, head in line with the shoulders or ears in line with your shoulders. Observing the inhales and exhales. Just giving yourself a moment of peace and quiet. Nothing's important now. You are simply just sitting in silence. If your mind gets busy, take awareness back to the inhales and exhales. can now very slowly make your way onto your back into corpse pose. As you settle in with your corpse pose, you can stay there for as long as you like.